For generations, Hardwari Lal's family prospered in Pakistan, making Ayurvedic medicines, part of a small Hindu minority that lived peacefully among the Muslim majority. But now they're in India, struggling to make ends meet because, he says, they were forced to flee.
Our Muslim friends there told us that they couldn't protect us any longer. The situation was getting worse. Anybody could be killed in the infighting.
Lal's family is one of 5 who left Pakistan's tribal regions last fall to escape frequent clashes between Sunnis and Shias and the Taliban's tightening hold. They've settled in the border town of Amritsar, where millions first sought refuge after partition.
But unlike those who came in 1947, these people have only been given visas for a year. Beyond that, their fate is uncertain, and their deep worry is they'll be forced to go back.
Thousands have fled Pakistan's tribal regions in recent months, a desperate exodus to escape the violence and, more recently, the introduction of Sharia law in the Swat Valley. There are reports that 100 Sikh families are among those who've left their homes, seeking safety in numbers by living instead at one of their temples in Pakistan's northwest frontier province. Across the border at the faith's holiest shrine, Amritsar's Golden Temple, there are calls now from leaders that Sikhs in Pakistan be protected against persecution.
It is the primary duty of the government to make it sure the liberty and life of their citizens. So Pakistan government should also work in this direction, that people should feel safe.
Those who have already fled, like Hardwari Lal, say they'll never feel safe again in Pakistan, and they're asking the Indian government for asylum.
Our hope is that we have come back to our motherland, that we will be accepted now as her long-lost children.
For people who've made the difficult choice to abandon their lives and homes, prayers now they can practice their faith without fear. Matt McClure, Al Jazeera, Amritsar.
Saeed Naqvi is a journalist, a former editor of the Indian Express, and has reported extensively in Pakistan. Joins me now from Delhi, a Muslim living in India. We're going to be talking about Hindus having to leave Pakistan. Is this an evidence of sort of religious polarization in the area?
Well, the good news is that it will not be more than in driblets. But the sad part is that it is happening at a time when India is in the grip of elections. Electioneering has started, and between the 16th of April to middle of May, there will be all political parties will be looking for issues. And this could well become an issue if this story is played up at this particular time. In driblets, you see, there is every landmark of an upheaval of extremism in Pakistan has sent people out in driblets, and there are some thousands located in Amritsar, for instance. They are there. They've been there for over decades now. And once we play up these stories, they are, don't forget, they are watched even in Pakistan. And where a few residual families have remained, they begin to come under threat from a people who are now in
but on the other hand, on the other hand,
yes.
Mr. Naqvi, I can understand what you're saying, that it is possible to exacerbate the situation, but these people would not be leaving if they did not feel persecuted. I mean, is that a new feeling?
Yeah. Well, look, Pakistan, most Pakistan Hindus left. There are a few more, maybe a few thousand in Sindh, which is a larger population, and maybe a few hundreds and thousands in the northwest frontier province, because these were very tolerant areas. They have been. The reason why these people have been there is because these were once upon a time very hospitable people. But now this wave
that's the point we want to get at.
That's coming in.
What has changed? Why do they no longer feel welcome?
They do no longer feel welcome, rather the same way that people in Kashmir, you have a whole lot of Kashmiri Pandits now lodged in Jammu. Why? Because of extremist violence in that valley, they felt threatened, and they were asked and advised to leave and live in Jammu. Similarly, these people, it is not the local people, but the local people in the grip of extremists with whom the compact has been made, this Faustian compact. That is the problem, and these people have seen the writing on the wall that it will be more and more dangerous as a religious fundamentalist kind of Islam takes holds sway in most of that region. That is the fear for these people, and that is the fear for most of the Pakistanis. I mean, where do they go? So we will, I think, have a lot of internally displaced people also, because Muslims who are not extremists, who are not Wahhabis, will also be looking for other areas.
Well, let me ask you about your personal situation, a Muslim living in India. Have you noticed any anti-Muslim feeling arising, particularly, let's say, after the attacks in Mumbai, which are being blamed on people out of Pakistan? Have you noticed the situation changing on your side of the border?
You know, don't forget, there are about 37 Muslims were killed in those attacks. And in fact, that is one evidence that political parties, some of them, tried to take advantage of it. But in India, the communal souffle is simply not rising. It peaked during the Gujarat pogrom, not a riot, a pogrom of 2002, but it is since just not happening. And therefore, even the right-wing BJP is changing its tune internally here. No, the situation inside the country, the Indian democracy ultimately protects everybody. Yes, there are ups and downs, but by and large, the situation that obtains in the Northwest Frontier province is worse than anything in Pakistan itself. And these were once very peaceful, very hospitable people.
Good to hear your thoughts. Sorry they're about such a difficult subject, but thank you for your time, Mr. Naqvi.